Seguimos en el LTE Latin American Summit, que se está celebrando en Río de Janeiro esta semana, tratando temas de LTE, y contamos con la visita de Kim de Puget, que es de Gemalto y que ha tenido hoy una presentación sobre los OTTs muy importante. Haremos un pequeño repaso muy rápido sobre qué está haciendo Gemalto en el ámbito de LTE y a partir de ahí pasarán sobre los OTT que con LTE y con HSPA y con 3G han ganado en más importancia. Kim, welcome to Telesemana.
Thank you.
So first question, as I mentioned, the audience is for you to tell us what is your role within the LTE, and then we'll move to the OTT discussion. So if you can tell us,
Okay. So Gemalto is a service company and a SIM card manufacturer. We are the leader in digital security, and we provide infrastructure and solution for operators to manage security and to provide new services, as well as subscription, activation and authentication to LTE network and to additional services they could provide.
Okay, actually I think it was obvious. I just asked you to give us an overview on Gemalto. I think everybody knows Gemalto in Latin America, but I think it's a good start. So let's go for the OTT. You had a panel. So tell us what is your conclusions. What did you say to that panel? The discussion I think was around the OTT phenomenon. So what is your take or Gemalto's take on that phenomenon?
The Gemalto's take is that basically even in Latin America, if the LTE has not been deployed yet fully, working together, partnering with OTT is something which operators cannot do without.
Okay.
They have to build the right infrastructure, build quality of service and be able to manage this and provide services to subscribers and also to depending on applications. And this is a way that operators can try to monetize data by providing the infrastructure and the means to work with OTT providers. It's not a good strategy, we would say, to try to compete with them directly, because they would definitely use the LTE big data pipe channel. And there are laws like net neutrality which prevent from cutting off simply the network.
Yeah, but how do operators reach agreements with these OTTs, given the fact that until now, just few cases have been successful in terms of operators reaching agreements with OTTs? It seems that operators say, I don't need to pay for, you have to pay me because I'm the one putting the pipe. But it seems that OTTs are saying, I don't care.
Yeah.
Net neutrality.
Well, basically, there are ways to promote services and application. For operators who control the pipe, they can propose to their customers to have a limited time access to more bandwidth, to have access, for instance, for online streaming video or video calls, and this is something that a subscriber might not be ready to pay on a monthly basis, for instance, especially as in Latin America a lot of the market is on the prepaid.
Yep.
But customers would be willing to pay for 1 hour additional bandwidth to download a video or to make a video call, calling home to see your kids while traveling abroad.
Okay.
This is something that operators can put in place.
Have you seen any successful agreement with the OTT, a specific example of an OTT reaching an agreement with an operator?
Today there are agreements in the pipe which operators don't communicate about yet. One example, which might not be the best example, is we saw Verizon having made an agreement with Skype to provide voice over IP on the LTE network, and this was for the startup period, I would say, and Verizon has announced that it will launch its own voice over IP application in H1 2012.
So actually they want to compete with Skype, I'm assuming.
So the assumption and the answer from Verizon to that question was, well, agreements are made to be evolving ones.
Okay. So broken.
So yes, but I would say the American market has been more focused, making the hype on the newest technology, marketing aspect of being the first one to provide 4G, LTE, and additional services. But more than voice. This agreement was for a first stage, but Verizon also looking at all types of video-related services. And obviously they're trying to develop themselves, but they're more playing on their first market leader positioning to try to impose to their services to be more easily used than the ones of OTT.
Okay.
And one key element is also the fact that if you go if you go OTT, even if you have to pay something a little bit, you as a user, your perception is that you go over the internet, and you know that if it doesn't work, well, it's internet, it's for free, so to say, even though you pay your data consumption to your operator, to your mobile operator. Now, if you buy a service provided by your operator, you expect the quality behind it, the quality of network, the quality of service, of working, and this is where operators have a role to play.
Okay.
Really.
What is Gemalto's role? I mean, if an operator reaches an agreement with an OTT, are you playing any role in helping the operator reaching that agreement through, I don't know, SIM authentication of certain services, having those services on the... So what is Gemalto's role once the operator reaches an agreement with an OTT? What would be your role in helping that agreement to, you know, be fully completed?
Well, today Gemalto's role is even before that state, where we provide the possibility for operators to authenticate to the IMS network, which is necessary for voice over IP VoLTE application, and for IP-only networks, not only GSM who are moving to IP, but IP-only networks to deploy services. So the solution by Gemalto is to provide this subscription activation, the authentication to the network and to the services, but in the future also to be able to base specific customer-specific rights based on the SIM, which is in the control of the operator. Whereas if it's configured on the handset, on the device, you have an open market of devices that makes it quite impossible for an operator to have a broad service deployment depending on the device's configuration or not.
Okay.
So basically, Gemalto provides the basics, the bricks, for the operator to be able to provide additional services. This is specifically with regards to OTT. On another market, which is a more closed environment, on mobile financial services, Gemalto provides operator with the sufficient and securized environment, infrastructure, for them to be able to provide a trusted service environment for third parties.
Like Google Wallet or something like that?
For instance,
for example.
yeah,
Okay.
Exactly. So this role of being able to give the right service level to their third-party partners, OTT for instance, is the role that Gemalto is playing by helping the operators to gear up the infrastructure for this.
Okay. Final question. For those who were not with you at the... We're not seeing the debate on OTTs with the other panelists. Was anybody saying something different than what you were saying? I mean, you were saying partnership is the way to go. Was anybody at the panel saying, no, operators should try to compete? Or giving a different...
Definitely
there was consensus?
There was a consensus about don't try to compete heads-on because you'll be losing the battle.
Okay.
You can try to develop additional services or personalized services to what OTT are providing today as an operator, and you need not only to look at the quality of service and quality of experience for the end user, but also about the policy control.
Okay.
And obviously the first operator who have launched LTE the main reason for them to launch LTE was to provide the big data pipe for the data consumption, but then in a second step starting to realize that they would like to find ways to monetize this data pipe, because even though
Shouldn't
SMS
they have
is still
thought this
growing,
before? Well, anyway,
maybe.
that's a question for them.
Yeah, a question for them, because even though SMS is still growing, the pace is slowing down, and even for some advanced countries in Western Europe,
Spain, for example.
Yeah, or even the Nordic countries like Telia Sonera, they've seen the number of SMSs slightly reducing at some peak events such as New Year.
Yeah.
And the reason for that is people using more instant messaging.
Yeah.
So one of the ways, especially for Latin American market, would be to look at what instant messaging they could, I would say, customize to each operator, or make a deal with the one that are big in the national markets, in order to be able to attract more and more people. Because one of the disadvantages of the social messaging, social media, are that they are quite closed environment.
Yeah.
You can Skype me if you know my Skype address.
Yes, if not, yeah.
If not.
Exactly. Although WhatsApp, it's fairly simple to get, you know, it looks through your contacts and it gives you the, so they are solving that issue, it seems, some of the OTTs.
They're solving this issue, but again, it's handset based, so it's not available on every handset.
Yeah, true.
So as an operator, you cannot provide it to every one of your subscribers.
Sure. That's one of the arguments against
exactly.
these OTTs. Okay. All right, Kim, thank you so much for stopping by.
Thank you
and
very much.
you know, I missed your panel, and now I regret
sorry.
it. I regret it. Yes.
Okay.
So next time I'll pay more attention to your scheduling. Thank you.
Thank you very much.
All right.